Hey everybody! One of my favorite ways to unwind at the end of a week is a mobility stretch, kind of yoga flow that really helps me calm my mind as well as my body. And so this is going to be geared toward beginner levels that have not done a lot of yoga in the past. And while we are going to be doing some stretching, you'll see we're going to do a lot of dynamic movements, which is better for your mobility, which is actually the ability to stabilize in your range of motion around your joint. So it's not just how flexible are you, it's how well can you get your body to move, which really is the most important thing for injury prevention. So let's get to it. I am going to have everybody start on their mats in a child's pose. So child's pose, your knees are to the outer edges of your mat. You're going to push your hips back towards your heels, walk your hands forward, and bring length to your spine. Take 3 deep breaths here. And then we're going to thread the needle. So you're going to take your right hand, you're going to slide it underneath your left arm, and try to aim to get your right ear down to the mat. Just really ease into this. You can even close your eyes if you want to as we get started here. Come back to the center and switch hands. The left hand slides under the right. Back to the middle. We're going to roll up into a tabletop position. So hip bones are over your knees, shoulders are over your wrists, your core is nice and tight, and from here we are going to round your back on your exhale. So I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to pull the back all the way up toward the ceiling, bring my chin to the chest. This is cat pose. This is a great one to work on your spine mobility. And then you're going to inhale, pull your navel down toward the mat, look straight forward for cow. On your next exhale, you're going to round your back for cat. Inhale. Down for cow. We're going to do one more of these. Notice yourself on your cat as we round our back. You should be lifting out away from your wrists. When I see people try this move, sometimes they push down and they actually bend their elbows. You don't want to do that. You're really tightening the core to pull away. Inhale, down to cow. We're going to tuck our toes under. And you are going to gently pull your tailbone up toward the ceiling for a downward facing dog. From here, you want your tailbone up toward the ceiling, your spine long. Bending the knees gives you a little space to have a nice long spine. From here, you can start to straighten out your legs and pedal out your feet. 1 foot at a time, you're going to try to press that heel toward the ground, feeling a nice stretch along the back of that leg and the calf, all the way down to the Achilles tendon. Nice and slow stretching today. We're really trying to feel those muscles relaxing into it. You're not straining them to get a deep stretch. That can sometimes tighten you up worse than when you started, so be nice and gentle with your body. And then we're slowly going to start to walk our feet up toward our hands. Bend the knees however much you need to. And we're landing in a forward fold. So in a forward fold, if you feel any straining in your back, bend your knees. We're going to clasp opposite elbows and we're just going to hang. The head is going to hang heavy. Let that stress from the day just kind of melt away. You can rock gently side to side. Pause in the middle. We're going to look straight up to a flat spine. You can slide your hands up to your shins. You want a nice long back as you look straight forward. This is a halfway lift. And then we're going to forward fold again, all the way back down toward the ground. Head hangs heavy. We're going to slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Kind of unrolling that spine all the way up, nice and tall to mountain pose. You want to pull your shoulders back, good posture. And then we're going to slowly start to arm circle the hands overhead. Flip those palms so they're facing each other. You can be here nice and strong. You can do a slight back bend if it feels okay. And then we're going to circle our arms back down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then we're going to step our feet back into a high plank. From this high plank, you can come down to your knees if that's hard to hold. You want to really feel your core tighten. And then you are slowly bringing your elbows in by your sides. Going to lower your chest all the way down to the mat. Sink into it. Be soft and gentle with your movements. From here, I'm going to actually have you keep your right elbow bent, hand by your right side of your chest. Extend your left arm out to the left side, even with your chest. Bend your right knee. Lift the knee up off of the mat by squeezing your glute. And then you're gently going to push into your right hand and roll that right foot across the left leg. Really gently. This is a chest opener for your left side. And look up at the ceiling. A couple deep breaths here. This is a great posture stretch. It helps to pull your shoulders back if you get rounded shoulders. We're going to inhale back to the middle. Set your right foot down. Bend the left knee. Bring the left hand by your chest. Straighten out your right hand. Lift that left knee up by squeezing your glute. That protects your back. Gently push into your left hand and rotate across the body, looking up at the ceiling, feeling a stretch in the right chest area as well as around the hips. You're going to come back to the center. And either using your knees or tucking your toes under, we are going to push all the way up into a high plank. So if you're doing that on your knees, you just keep your knees planted and you press up that way. We're going to push the hips all the way back again into child's pose. Up into tabletop. We're going to do that all again one more time. Sometimes the second time through we're a little more warmed up and we can get a little deeper into some of these stretches. So we're going to inhale for cow. Pull your navel down. Exhale, squeeze your stomach, round your spine, chin to your chest. Inhale, navel down. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale to cat last time. Tuck your toes under. Pull the tailbone up. Downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. We're slowly going to walk feet toward the hands. Landing in a forward fold. Grab opposite elbows for ragdoll and just let everything hang heavy. You can gently rock side to side. Pause in the middle. Lift up, halfway lift. Forward fold. And then roll all the way up, one vertebrae at a time. Mountain pose. Squeeze your glutes as you bring your arms overhead. Slight back bend if it doesn't pinch in the low back. Round the arms all the way back down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands back down, step your feet back, high plank. You can come down to the knees, still make sure you're engaging in your core, and then you're slowly going to lower back down, chest to the mat. We're going to go back into our chest opener, so you're going to extend your left hand out, bend the right knee, lift the right knee off the mat, and push across the body. Inhale, back to the center. Extend your right arm out, bend the left knee, lift off the mat, and push across the body. If you've ever taken a yoga class before, they talk a lot about how important your breathing is. And I didn't understand that for a long time. And when I was working on my yoga certification, they get a little more into it. Come back to the center. And one of the things they talk about, we're going to push back in a child's pose, so keep your knees on the ground, is your breath is the only thing happening in the present moment. And so when you're doing some of these stretches and some of these mobility moves, it can get very easy to not actually feel what's going on in your body. We tend to get a little disconnected from our body. And if you don't know what's going on in your body, it's hard to know how to adjust poses so they feel good in your body and they're being productive. So if you breathe through each movement, it makes you a lot more focused, it makes you a lot more present, and a lot less likely to get injured. So it's something to be mindful of as we're going through these, is to really pay attention to your breath. We're going to come back up to tabletop, and we are going to do a spine aligner or a bird dog exercise. So you're going to extend your right hand forward, left toes back. Before we do anything, you want to lift using your core. Your back is nice and flat. You're going to then lift your left leg up, your right arm out. If you need a little extra knee pad, you can slide a towel under your knee. Focus on your breathing. Focus on lengthen your spine. And focus on squeezing your glutes and your core. Slowly lower down. We're going to switch sides. Extend your right toes back. Extend your left hand forward. Squeeze in your waist, and then lift up using your right glute and your core. And lower everything back down. We're going to stay on the knees. Again, if you need any extra padding, get a towel, get an extra mat. We're going to get into a hip flexor or a psoas stretch. And so this is a low lunge in yoga. You're going to take a big step forward with your right foot. You want to make sure to hold your core in. If you've done any of my other videos, I talk about the pelvic tilt. That's what we're doing here. You're pulling your navel to your spine, keeping your core tight. You'll start to feel a stretch down here in the hip and the quadricep, and then you're just gently going to lean your weight forward. And we really want to open up this hip area. This gets really tight when we sit a lot during the day. Extend your left arm up in the air. That'll extend this psoas even longer, so you get a really nice release. And keep breathing. And then we're slowly going to bring that hand down. Gently push your hips back. We're going to go into a half split. So your front leg is straight. You can pull your toes up toward the ceiling. And you can bring your hands down to either side of your foot. Now it might feel like you're really rounding here, like you're really dumping down. If that's the case, you either want to have some yoga blocks, one on each side. You could also just get towels or books, just something so you feel a little more stable, so your spine isn't rounded. We're really going for a nice hamstring stretch here in this front leg. If this feels okay, you can start to windshield wiper that foot a little bit. So you're basically just rotating it side to side, rotating that femur bone and the hip socket, working on some hip mobility. And then we're going to bring that foot back and switch sides. So left foot forward, tuck in the core, slowly start to push your hips forward without arching your back. When you feel a stretch in the front of your hip and your quadricep, extend your right arm up. And then slowly start to straighten out your left leg. Use your blocks or your books if you need to. Give your body what it needs. Lean forward from your waist, one hand on either side, feeling the stretch in the hamstring. So you can start to windshield wiper the toes there. And then you can carefully bring that foot back. We're going to actually turn so we are horizontal on the mat. I'm going to have you walk your knees out pretty wide here. We're going to get into a kind of a Frogger stretch. So this stretches out your inner thighs. You're going to come all the way down to your forearms, and you may feel this stretch immediately in the inner thighs. Don't overdo it. You may not feel it a lot. If that's the case, you can actually play around with rocking the hips back and forth a little bit. Remember, match it to your breath. One more deep breath. You can walk your hands back. We'll bring the knees together. And from here, you're going to extend one leg straight out to the side. Now, if this feels tricky to balance, you can hang onto a chair, something to help you be a little bit more steady. We're going to, if this feels okay, we're going to extend your right arm up and reach it up and over toward that left foot. Nice side body stretch here, as well as some inner thigh and hamstring on this side. Back to the center. We're going to swap it out. So that left foot will come down. Right foot extends out, toes up toward the ceiling. Reach up and over. Come back to the center. We're going to make our way onto our backs next. Into a corpse pose. This is a lot of my clients' favorite pose. You just want to sink into the mat here. Okay, from corpse pose, you are gently going to hug your right knee in towards your chest. And take a couple of deep breaths. You can move your right ankle around, work in some different ranges of motion. And you're going to keep your left hand on the knee, but you're going to bring it kind of to the outside. Your right arm will go out to the side, even with your chest, and then you're just gently going to pull your right leg across the body. Trying really hard to keep your right shoulder blade down. So we're not forcing anything. You're not trying to jerk your knee down. Slow and controlled breath. Let your body relax into it. We're going to come back to the center. Set your right foot down. Hug your left knee in toward your chest. Roll out that ankle a little bit. that left arm is going to come straight out to the side. Right hand's gently going to pull left knee across the body. It's a great low back stretch. Coming back to the center. Last stretch, we're going to do a figure four. A figure four stretch is really great for the hips. You're going to put your right ankle across your left thigh, and you're going to lift and hug right behind your left thigh. You want to try to keep your shoulder blades down on the ground. You don't want to tense up your upper body up this way. You want to keep everything relaxed. You should feel this in the outer right hip and glute area. And then you can bring that left foot down, put the right foot on the ground, and switch. Left ankle across the right thigh. Hug right behind the right thigh. Doing a little mobility work every day will do amazing things for your body and your minds. If you can't do a full 20 minutes, pick 2 exercises to do. Bring your feet back down. You're just going to extend your legs back out to corpse pose. Flip your palms up toward the ceiling for Shavasana. This is our ending pose. You're just trying to completely relax your body. Let everything hang heavy. Let the ground support you. You can close your eyes. We're going to take a big inhale. Fill your stomach up with air. Pause at the top of your breath, and then slowly exhale. Again, big inhale. Pause and exhale. One more time. Big inhale. Pause. Exhale. This is a really important part of yoga practice. I'm going to leave you in a minute of silence, focusing on your breath. Notice any thoughts that pop into your head, but don't get too attached to them. You don't have to solve anything right now. Let your body just totally relax. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some awareness back to the body. And gently turn over to your side. And take your time coming all the way up to a seated position. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend or whatever day it is. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and see you again soon.